Are we done here?
No, you don't understand, ma'am. You don't understand.
Are we done here?
You got anything else to say, Miss Brooks? That's 300 days!
All right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared.
I know what I saw, and I signed something saying that if I'm wrong, I can go to prison.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a banger of a video. We've collected the Karens being Karens, but in the dumbest place possible, the courtroom. These Karens decided it would be a great idea to act entitled and crazy in front of a judge. That can give them extra months on their sentence for simply talking out of turn. Our first case is in a family court where a couple is getting a matter settled, but the wife decided to be a total Karen and turn this normal hearing into something unnecessary.
Find the case of Nicoletti versus Stevens, case number 0672178-2PH.
May it please the court, Your Honor. Paul Nicoletti appearing on behalf of myself.
Good afternoon, Judge. Karen Stevens in pro per for my motion for sanctions against Mr. Nicoletti for this vexatious and frivolous PPO.
I don't know if any of you caught that, but her actual name is also Karen. This is just too good to be true.
What?
I have a motion for sanctions against...
I know that. And the purpose of the sanctions are based on what?
It was a frivolous and vexatious PPO based on nonsense. I am not stalking Mr. Nicoletti.
I haven't signed a PPO.
His petition for a PPO. Let me...
Okay, were you served?
No, I wasn't, but may...
No, you may not. How can you ask to sanction someone when you haven't even been served?
That's the point.
Ms. Stevens, do not interrupt me when I'm speaking, ma'am.
I have a constitutional right to be heard.
On what basis?
Let me break down the legal jargon for you. A personal protection order, or PPO, is a court order to stop threats, violence, or harassment against you. You can get a PPO to protect you from someone age 10 or older who is threatening, hurting, stalking, or harassing you. The man in the seat may have tried to get the PPO, but the judge didn't sign it, so there is no need for this Karen to be here wasting everyone's time. But it gets worse for Karen very quickly when she decides to have an attitude with the judge.
There is no case before me, ma'am, other than the fact that you filed this frivolous motion taking up this court's time for no good reason other than your own personal vendetta against this man for whatever reason you may have, and I really don't care because it does not involve me or my court. However, had I issued a PPO, you would have a basis to be before me. I did not issue a PPO. He did not pursue his right to a hearing on the PPO. You were never served, and here you are taking up my time so that you want me to chastise him and make him pay money? No, ma'am. Your relief is denied, and in addition to that, I am sanctioning you with costs of $500 forthwith to the county clerk's office.
The judge quickly takes control of the situation and doesn't even give the Karen a chance to speak. She shuts down every angle the Karen was planning to play and even orders her to pay for the court hearing. But watch what she says next.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I knew it was fixed.
I beg your pardon?
I said I knew it was fixed.
Miss Stevens, I highly suggest that you just exit my courtroom and go pay the sanctions before I find you in contempt.
Now, where do I go?
The clerk's office in the main part of the courthouse.
Oh, wait.
Thankfully, the judge kept her cool and warned the Karen with more punishment after she decided to get testy with the judge. We're now in Michigan with our next Karen. Her name is Marina, and she owns a little restaurant in town. During the pandemic, Marina decided to ignore the various health and safety restrictions that the government applied. She was given various citations and warnings, but she remained ignoring them. She even offered indoor service despite the whole country being under strict restrictions to keep dining outdoors. The restaurant was then issued a closure notice house until the court hearings were settled, but then Marina, decided to keep it open. She was issued an arrest warrant, and the cops came to get her to jail and court on her way to work. She now finds herself in court, with a judge on her last nerve by the person Marina chose to have by her side, a man named Martin who's supposed to be a legal aid to Marina. Martin is known for going around to different courts and trying to represent people who were in court for COVID-related reasons. He registered to the court hearing as a licensed legal counsel, but he does not have a law degree. But the judge decided to give him a chance to speak anyway.
I make a statement for myself.
What is your statement? I'll give you 1 minute.
Okay. I was not aware that I would be here other than acting as assistants, not as her lawyer, but as assistants of counsel in this matter to help her because she does have understanding problems of the English language.
Sir, apparently you have problems with the English language. This says appearance. It is for lawyers. Do not argue with me because what will happen is you'll get another 93 days and then we'll start over. Your rights remain intact, but for today's purposes, you are under arrest for contempt of court, this court. You may be escorted out. Thank you.
The judge then quickly sent this male Karen to jail and proceeded to deal with the other Karen in the room.
You certainly may remain silent. Where is your attorney? Do we have an attorney?
I'm on here.
Sir?
You do, Your Honor.
Isn't it nice watching a Karen getting owned? The judge didn't even give her the time of day. She quickly took action, sat her down, and gave her the sentence she deserved.
I'm looking here, what is it, intentional infliction of emotional distress?
Yes.
Is that the claim here?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
That's not something that's really justiciable in district court.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I said that's not something that's justiciable in district court. That has to be brought in circuit court.
So you said it's not permissible in district court. It has to be taken to circuit court?
That's an equitable action, yes. Mm-hmm.
Our next Karen is in court looking for restitution for this man causing her emotional distress. She made a mistake in applying for this lawsuit in the wrong court, as the judge told her. The man celebrating in the video is quite hilarious. But then some more information comes up that makes this case worse than it already is.
Mr. Jordan, let me just ask you this. Are you planning to represent yourself on this?
To be honest with you, sir, I thought this was just going to be thrown out. We had a date, one date, and nothing else after that. And now I'm being sued for $10,000. I don't see how this is going to go any further. I think it's a waste of your time.
The problem is this. If you think it should be dismissed, you need to file the appropriate motion. You need to file a motion to ask for that.
In that letter, he lied. And then that's what brought forth the perjury. It was never perjury in the beginning. It was perjury after his response.
Well, you can't say, listen, he has the right to put whatever is in the answer.
I'm not saying he can't, but
you can't add another count because you don't like or you disagree with what is in his answer.
Wow, I bet you never expected to hear this kind of news, did you? She is asking for $10,000 for the man not showing up after one date. I don't know about you, but that sounds like one hell of an expensive first date.
if he responds and his response is a lie, it's perjury, then my documents will prove that he lied in his response.
No. It's his version. First of all, do you understand what perjury is?
Yes, I understand perjury is a lie. I know what perjury means.
Perjury is a statement, a false statement made under oath. So
exactly, and I got documents that prove he was lying.
After the judge tried to explain to her exactly how she got her filing wrong, something inside her triggered the Karen to come out and things went wild.
Bottom line is you said it's a criminal offense, so I will send it to circuit court. Are we done here?
No, you don't understand, ma'am. You don't understand.
Are we done here?
Perjury
Are we done here?
is Perjury
exactly what
is
perjury
a
means.
false
I know exactly
statement
what perjury
made
means.
under
I know
oath.
what perjury means. Are we done
No,
here?
you
Is it a
don't.
criminal offense or not?
What statement? I don't see anything in the complaint that says he made some false statement under oath.
Because you don't know what happened. You're on the outside looking in. You don't know anything.
But you're the plaintiff. You have, wait a minute. You are the plaintiff.
Are we done here?
You have to
Are we
lay
done
out
here?
your
Are we done
allegations
here?
properly.
Are we done here?
No,
I
we're
know
not.
exactly what perjury means.
No, we're
Do
not.
not insult my intelligence.
You have to lay.
Do not insult my
You
intelligence.
have to lay your. You have to lay your.
Please do
You
not
have to
insult my
lay
intelligence.
your complaint out. It has. You have to allege this in the complaint. You have
Please
not.
do not insult my intelligence.
Don't worry, I'm not going to subject you to her yelling anymore. Let's move on to the next clip.
Good morning, Ms. Burks.
Good morning.
You're charged with assault. That's a misdemeanor 1, carries a possible fine of $1,000 and or 6 months in jail. Domestic violence is also a misdemeanor 1 and carries a possible fine of $1,000 and or 6 months in jail. You have 3 pleas available to you today: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. You also have the right to a lawyer, and if you can't afford a lawyer, the court can appoint one for you. What plea would you enter?
Not guilty.
Court will accept your plea of not guilty. I'm going to assign your case to one of the courtrooms. All right, Ms. Brooks, on the domestic violence, I'm going to set a $7,500 cash or surety bond. That bond is conditioned of no contact with Cedric McRae. On the assault, I'm going to set a $7,500 cash or surety bond. That bond is conditioned of no contact with Tiffany Castro. No contact means you can't call him, you can't write him, you can't text him, you can't email him, can't leave a message on some social media, you can't go visit him. If you go someplace and either Mr. McRae or Ms. Castro's there, you have to leave. If you're someplace, even though you may have arrived first and one of them shows up, you still have to leave.
So you gonna tell me I can't go home?
I'm telling you, you can't go home. If you live with...
Whoa, I'm talking. I don't need you to say nothing.
If you live with Mr. McRae, you cannot return to that residence.
As you heard, this Karen is in court for a case of assault and domestic violence. After she pleads not guilty, the judge gives her the rules until she gets to the hearing, which is to not come in contact with the defendants of the case in any way, shape, or form. But when she realizes that she can't go home because it would violate the order, she decides that now is the perfect time to talk back to the judge.
Oh, but how you just gonna tell me I can't go home though?
What?
How you gonna tell me I can't go to my house?
I just did.
Well, I bet I do.
Well, then you're in contempt, young lady, and you've got 30 days. So you're not going to... You're not... What?
Whoa.
Get back! Get back!
You just said I got
Get
30
back!
days. I'm not getting nothing else.
That's another 30 days. That's 60 days.
So what?
90 days.
So?
120 days.
Okay, and?
180 days.
Whoa! He's quiet. Get off me! Get your hands off me, man!
Well, that escalated quickly. She learned what contempt of court actually means after just a few words. The judge did warn her, and she decided to keep going, so he kept adding on days like he's giving her extra scoops of ice cream. But wait, there's more.
What else you got to say?
Oh, nothing. We'll talk in 6 months when you're ready to come back for your case.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Not as sorry as she's gonna be.
I ain't bad. They got commissary. I got money.
That's 200 days. You got anything else to say, Miss Burks? That's 300 days.
She doesn't seem to learn, but after a few more days in jail, will end up straightening her out.
You want to run the record back?
Mr. Brooks.
So I'm the only one. I got one.
Mr.
I got
Brooks.
one ear that work, and I heard that.
This
Come on,
is
man.
to benefit you so
No,
that
it's
you
not.
understand
Ain't none of
your
this to benefit
witness
me, so let's be
has
clear
a
about
prior
that.
record.
Your Honor, when I leave the table, I'm away from the courtroom, and I have to elevate my voice. This is the
So she had to
alleged
elevate her
record
voice
of
just for
ableist
that.
Stop talking.
Come on, man. Like, I don't know who y'all be thinking y'all fooling. I accept the value in return for value this document.
One more interruption and you're going to be removed to the next courtroom.
That's what you want to do anyway.
It's not what I want to do. Do not interrupt Attorney Opper.
So can
Your
you
Honor,
tell,
I
can
believe
you
he
explain?
has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI 2nd from 1997, and OWI 3rd from 1997, and OWI 4th from 2003, criminal trespass to dwelling from 2006.
Right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared. And we're taking a break.
This is Daryl Brooks. On November 21st, 2021, Daryl drove an SUV through the annual Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, United States, killing 6 people and injuring 62 others. He's been in court for a while and has decided to represent himself, which is a very stupid idea. The court proceedings have gotten to his head, and he just started to bicker like a Karen the whole time, acting like he's in the kitchen arguing rather than in court.
He impregnated Erica Patterson when she was a in Nevada. And for doing so, he was convicted of statutory pled guilty in March of 2007 to that felony offense and is a sex offender on the registry as a result. So if there's any causation that would lead to Erica Patterson being a bad mom, Mr. Brooks has a direct role in that causation.
And that's
furthermore,
I object to that.
I'm not
because
done.
That's a lie.
Let him
Because at the end of the day,
Let
if
him
we
finish,
gonna open the door
Mr.
on that, no,
Brooks.
since he want to make a record and not be accurate, so let's be accurate all on the record. Since you think you know so much,
Once
so
again,
we can
Mr.
open the
Brooks
door
is
on.
being
We can
loud,
open the door on how old she told me she
disrespectful,
was when we
interrupting.
met. We can ask that question
He is
too. Then
over the
Did you
top
ask that?
animated
Did you
right
know
now.
that?
Mr. Brooks, I'm ordering you to sit down and to let the state
No,
finish.
no, I'm not going to sit here and let somebody be inaccurate on the record and lie on the record.
Right. Under Illinois versus Allen, I've warned him repeatedly. He's being removed from the courtroom. And you know what? Let me dial that back. We're just going to take an early lunch, 1 hour. We'll be back. And unless he brings that letter.
Brooks pleaded not guilty to 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide and 70 additional charges. He chose to represent himself at his trial, which began on October 3rd, 2022. Brooks presented pseudo-legal arguments from the sovereign citizen movement.
Fully.
All right.
It's not a game. I don't take this as a game. That's what nobody. That's what nobody. You don't got to explain nothing to me.
Do you want?
That's what you don't understand. You think that this is a whole game to me. This is not a game to me, Your Honor. Nothing about this is a joke. That's what y'all don't understand.
But there's
and it's unfair. It's unfair and it's disrespectful to me that you think I would come in here purposely and treat this like a joke or a game.
I never said it was a joke.
What type of statement is that? Your life is not on the line. Mine is. And you think that I think this is funny?
I don't think it's funny whatsoever.
So I think, Your Honor, with all due respect, I think you should show some respect.
We're going to take a 5-minute break.
He keeps getting into these Karen-esque outbursts, and the judge can see that he isn't gonna stop, so she just gives a break for everyone and gets away from his incessant nagging.
A record
so
that
what?
I can't make a ruling.
It threw people off a loop. They weren't ready for it. They scared of it. That's what it is. Come on, man.
Mr. Brooks.
Come on, man. Stop.
When you
Stop
aren't
it.
even letting
You're a
me
public
ask
servant,
the
Your Honor.
questions.
I respect your courtroom. I respect you. You're a public servant, though. Your job is to be the referee. Is it or is it not? You stated so yourself on record that your job is being the umpire.
He even goes after the judge and explains her job to her. On October 26th, the jury returned with guilty verdicts on all 76 counts after deliberating for a total of 3 hours and 15 minutes. Brooks was sentenced on November 16th, 2022. Judge Doro imposed 6 life sentences without parole, 1 for each of the deceased victims, to be served consecutively. For the 61 counts of reckless endangerment, she sentenced Brooks to a total of 762 years of initial confinement and 305 years of extended supervision. For the 6 counts of hit and run, he received 150 years to run concurrently with the reckless endangerment sentences. I'm not great at math, but I'm pretty sure that that is a lot of years.
Your attorney withdrew, so you'll have to hire an attorney?
I don't need an attorney.
You're a lawyer?
Nope.
You want to talk to me about a bond with me? What do you want to tell me?
About what?
Bond?
This male Karen thought it would be a great idea to represent himself in court, thinking of himself as a smart guy and could get himself out of this with no issues. But he quickly realizes what he got himself into when the judge tells him about all the things they will be discussing that day. But just after that, he decided to let the other side of the Karen come out.
That's going to cost you 30 days in the county jail for contempt. Cuff him if you got the cuffs. Hold on, it's $5,000 cash surety bond, temporary, subject to the temporary protection order. He just swore at the judge. Can I give you a piece of advice?
What?
You can either make life easy or you can make life hard.
I already ruined my life.
That's 60. You want to go for 90? That's 90 more. That's 180. That's 306.
I'm working at McDonald's. Now I gotta come here and my life up. You!
Melvin, stop!
How many days you want to give me now? Are you Sir County?
The judge tried to give him an out, but he just kept swearing, and the judge kept adding. This is what happens when you think you're too smart for your own good. The only sad part is watching his mother try and fail to calm him down.
About a year right now in contempt, so.
He's got mental problems. He's not on medication.
Ma'am, I don't care.
I don't give a
Melvin, stop!
everybody. You.
Melvin,
The power.
Good.
The power.
Good.
Suck up and you.
that's stupid. Melvin, stop. Stop it. You're not even getting in trouble. Melvin, listen. You're going.
Who the fuck is he telling me anything?
Stop. Just let him do whatever he wants to do.
Melvin.
You don't want to listen.
Well, that didn't go according to plan. He probably thought that he was going to get this done and act like a smug hero because he bested a trained law professional. He had no idea that learning the law is actually required to argue things in court. He's going to be spending a long year or so in jail just for those few words.
You were born in India, is that correct? I would consider a massive amount of evidence. What I'm holding in my hand are affidavits. These are sworn under oath. They have the power of evidence because they're sworn under oath. These are the things on which you bring indictments. And they allege massive cheating, particularly on the part of the Democrat Party of Detroit.
Why are we listening to your story here today if it has already been ruled incorrect and not credible by a judge in court?
It has not been ruled.
It has. Well,
Okay.
This is not a courtroom, Mr.
Representative,
Giuliani. This is a committee. Why do you keep it?
I'm sure you know what's going on here, but in case you don't, let me catch you up. This is Rudy Giuliani, the famous attorney and leader of the legal team employed by former President Donald Trump. He is here to argue his case of voter fraud in Detroit, and he has a star witness up his sleeve.
He said, Melissa, I don't want to hear that we have a problem. He said, we are here to assist with IT. We are not here to run their election. That is exactly what he said to me. At that point, I was just really frustrated and upset. I could tell what was going on. I knew what was going on at that point.
What was going on?
He was in on it. He was in on it. They were all in on it.
In on what?
They were cheating. It was very, very apparent. It was apparent he knew. It was apparent that he was in on it. And when he caught on to me knowing that he was in on it, he just wanted nothing to do with me.
This is Melissa Carone, the quintessential Karen here. Annoying voice, blonde hair, and an innate entitled attitude that comes only from becoming a full-fledged Karen.
This election, I will say, these Democrats took every avenue possible to commit fraud in this election. And what I saw on the 3rd and 4th was over 20 counts of fraud being taking place in front of my face. And this isn't counting, the ballots that are found in rivers, the ballots found under rock.
Do you have a point of order, Representative?
How many ballots would you estimate in front of you that you observed were counted multiple times in the machine? Can you put a number to it, an estimated number?
At least 30,000.
At least 30,000. Okay.
This is where we learn what makes a true Karen. They don't have to be white or female. There are no set physical criteria. What makes a Karen is the entitled, I'm better than everyone else attitude that comes with it. And Melissa here has it in abundance.
Why is it that more people, and I know we have a couple here today, but why is it that we're not having more people come forward? I mean, it seems like if there was all this widespread fraud that, we'd have dozens and dozens of people.
I'll tell you why. My life has been destroyed. My life has been completely destroyed because of this. I've lost family. I've lost friends. I've been threatened. My kids have been threatened. I've had to move. I've had to change my phone number. I've had to get rid of social media. Nobody wants to come forward. They're getting threatened. Their lives are getting ruined. I can't even get an actual job anymore. I can't. Because Democrats like to ruin your lives. That's why.
All right.
Why we're not seeing the poll book off by 30,000 votes? And
I know what I saw, and I signed something saying that if I'm wrong, I can go to prison. Did you?
The arrogance of this lady is unmatched. She went head-to-head with the representatives. Imagine if she was in an actual courtroom. She would be sent to jail so fast that she wouldn't even get the word supervisor out in time. So how did that go? Do you think these types of Karens should be allowed to get back to society? In my humble opinion, they should all be put into one neighborhood and let them deal with each other and have the rest of humanity have some peace and quiet for once. That's all for today, folks. We hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.